Hello, and welcome again to another video. My name is Kgosi Segongane, and this is the Kgosi Segongane live show. As you can see, where's that thing? Yeah, at the corner. Yeah, there. Hey, what is it? Yeah, there by the corner. We can see Motemu. That's where our name of the show is. But we are shooting live from the Kgosi FM studios, which is here in Westview, Pretoria West. As you can see in my background, the Kgosi FM studios there. We're shooting live from there. My name is Kgosi Segongane, and thanks so much for our video to come watch our video again. And I really appreciate you guys coming to talk to us. Today I wanted us to talk about something that I've been talking about this topic for so long. But every day you go into the internet, you go to TikTok, you go to wherever you see wherever people are streaming stuff from, and you'll always find a video that comes. That video will always say stuff, about colored people and being Khoisan and all that, and then it just gets to me. Okay, why can't they just give up? Just give up, let it go. You know that you're not Khoisan, so why are you forcing something which is not yours? So today I want us to break it down a little bit. Ne? It's not a racist thing, it's not a jealous thing, it's just a factual thing that we can be factual enough to say, listen guys, this is what's happening. All right, so let's stop this thing of colored, this color, because even the term cult itself was never a good term for anyone to be called a colored. It was a colonial term that used to classify you and to make you, become somebody else. So we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't be calling each other names and separating each other from ourselves because of some people who came from somewhere. So anyway, the video I'm gonna watch today, which I saw yesterday, and I've been delaying to make this video play because of it's just tiring. It's just tiring, really, to always have to justify yourself as a black person in this continent, and you are told by the very settlers that you don't belong. You belong somewhere. You were not here before they came, and stuff like that. And what's interesting enough is that the video we're gonna watch now is of this British person. He's telling us that we're not in South Africa. There was some people called the Khoi and the Bushmen that were here, and we and other white settlers exterminated them. And this guy's got a heavy English accent in his voice, meaning he's the first colonizer. Yeah, so take it like that. First colonizer, he's the first one who actually fucked us up so much that you're at war today, that you're wearing this nonsense that you're wearing today. That's the responsible people. The British people, yeah. So anyway, before we can go further, let's go first to the commercials and then we'll come back and then we'll take it after this. This show is brought to you by Segongane Medical Services and Clinic. They are a private clinic situated in number 70 Kgosi in Westview, Danville. They specialize on the following: primary health care, ailment diagnosis and treatment, including medication, wound care, family planning, well baby clinic, basic ultrasound, laboratory blood services, treatment of chronic illnesses, treatment and management of patients on ARVs, wellness screening, antenatal clinic, HIV services and counseling. They have a pharmacy on site and they are doing CCMDD services as well, OHS clinic, circumcision clinic and abortion services. Their cell phone number is 064 548 7176 or 071 422 8576. Again, the address is 70 Kgosi in Westview, Pretoria West in Danville. Cell phone number again is 064 548 7176 or 071 422 8576. Yeah, that's our sponsor for today. Segongane Medical Service and Clinic. They don't take any medical aid, but I feel like cash 350 consultation abone, and they don't give you medicine. With that amount is separate. So you come and consult, they give medicine, you pay for it. Ne? Service is very beautiful, man. Go and they really know what they're doing. Very beautiful service. All right, like I was saying, I was going to talk about this guy. There's a video they can see. I took a TikTok, like I think it was yesterday, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do the color thing again because I'm doing the color thing forever. I'm tired of that. But I was like, you know what? Pila the fuel. Where these people get the fuel from calling themselves Khoisan. It's not from themselves. It's from these people. You see these people? This one. Yeah. Ke bone ba tlang ka masepa mo gae. They come and tell us this now, there's a people called Khoisan, and the colored people that are speaking Afrikaans in this country, they are descendants. I don't know how come, how that happened, but we're going to go step by step on where is the originality of everything until today. And you tell me, does it make sense? A First Nation people can talk a dialect as their first language. Let it think. Let me come back to this camera. The First Nation people, guys. First Nation people. But one South Africa, their first language is not their original language that God gave them. Naga ki Setswana. I speak Setswana. But then the very first people that are supposed to be the first nation of this Southern Africa, they speak a dialect, a made-up language from another language as a first language. Does it make sense? It's like Mwana adopted a Chinese, a black child, being adopted a Chinese, and then he claims that he's the first nation person. A black kid, no, because I'm speaking fluent Chinese, or my parents are Chinese, so I am a First Nation. I don't know if you get my point. So, like I said, I saw this video, I'm like, okay, I'm going to analyze this video a little bit and say, really? Like, how do you, let's just go take a listen. Then, what do you think about this nonsense? Take a listen.
That it belonged to black people. It's not true. The black people, the Bantu, hadn't reached there when the white people arrived in the 17th century. At that time, the Khoisan, the bush people, were living there, who were white people, indigenous Africans. And so the Bantu and the white settlers both exterminated the Khoisan and drove them out. But South Africa was never a black nation, not until the 16th, 17th century.
Must I play it again? Maybe you guys can hear. There was no black people in Southern Africa until the whites came and they found the Khoisan, who are the original white. Did you hear that? Original white people of South Africa. That's a British person. That's a British man. The very first colonizers that colonized almost 70% of the world. The very people who destroyed a lot of cultures, who destroyed a lot of people, who still colonize Canada, America today, New Zealand, and Australia. 4 legal colonies of this earth, of these people. He's telling me, an African, that I did not belong in here. Okay, now let's go back a little bit and just take it step by step, okay? Step by step, we talk about this thing, because it seems like most of us are still confused about who we are and where we come from. First and foremost, the first people to arrive in this country were the Portuguese. Bartholomew, I'm thinking, the captain of the first ship, who was passing by. Hence, Natal is called Natal. Natal means Christmas in Portuguese. They're the first white people to pass by, to go to India, bring spices, pass by again, and go back home. They never stayed. So they landed in the KZN area, Christmas. So it was called Natal. You understand? Those are the first people. Shouldn't we ask them who they found here? Because they came along 16-something, way before Jan van Riebeeck can come here, running away from Europe, by the way. He didn't come here as an explorer. He came as a refugee. Yeah. They will never tell that history at school because they want to make themselves look so clean. Anyhow, Bartholomew and the other Spanish people and other Portuguese people, they are the ones who passed by the Cape and passed by KZN. Went into India to get spice and come back and go back. Who didn't want to stay here because they didn't see this place as a place to stay. We should be asking them, what did they see? Who are the first people they found in the Cape and anywhere else? Okay? Not this English. The English came after the Dutch came, by the way. The English came after the Dutch came to this Cape colony and they took it away from them. 2 foreigners, 2 Europeans fighting for my land as a black person. And then they come and tell me, hey, Kgosi, you are never here, me brah. You are never. We found some people called the Khoisan and Bushmen somehow. And the question is, who are these Bushmen and who are these Khoisan people? Today, where are they? The only evidence which is there about some indigenous Bushmen. They're in Botswana, in the Kalahari Desert, not in the Cape, not in Cape Town, in Botswana. And they look nothing like Coloureds that we have now in this country that are claiming that they're the First Nation. Okay? So a British person comes and tells me, after we came here, we read your history. It's the same as a hunter. A hunter will write a history according to his own view. But if a lion will actually have a chance to write his own history, he will tell the honest truth what really happened in that hunt. That's the best analogy I can make every time. Hore, Mutsumi, utlo go kwala story ka perspective ya gage. Ka tshebo ya gage ya matlho, okay? Now ke bone so because what we favor like we pass a hero. But if a lion can be as Emran, people what happened, that lion will give a different story. Hore nje mpone rutile ganti tota. Because the victors will always write stories that's going to cover and glorify them instead of telling the truth of actually what really happened. So the real history must be taken from the Spanish and from the Portuguese who first passed by this continent or the tip of this continent to go to India to tell us actually Halefeta ko Natal. When you call Natal, who did you find? Did you find Khoisan? Because they're saying the whole Southern Africa, that is from Zimbabwe downwards, up until Cape Town, it belongs to the Khoisan. Who are they now? Where are they now? Their only evidence, there is some colored people in Cape Town not claiming to be Khoisan. They're not Khoisan. There was never something called Khoisan anyway. I remember Nako School when I was taught South African history, about the Hottentots. You know, there was Hottentots people and they were short with big bums and shit like that. And we're like, but where are they now? But at the moment, let's see some evidence of these people existing in this country. Zero. There's nothing like that. Like I said, the only evidence that we have is in Kalahari Desert now as we speak. The real Bushmen that are Tswana speaking like me, by the way. Yeah. All right. Now let's jump down to the language. Okay. The clay, whatever, all that they say is the language. Yeah, the Khoisan. Now, 1652, Van Riebeeck and his men come to the Cape. They get to the Cape, they found whoever they found. They found black people like me, and then they robbed them of their land, and they built a fort, you know, the whole history, and they stole their cattle and all that. Sharp. The language that the First Nation of this country is claiming to be theirs is Afrikaans. Now, what is Afrikaans? Afrikaans is not a language, gentlemen and ladies. Afrikaans is a dialect. It's an abstract from three languages, French, German, and Dutch. The real Dutch, I was with them in 2007, we were doing a missionary trip. They call Afrikaans kitchen Dutch. They hate the language because it destroyed their own original language. They speak fluent Dutch, it's beautiful, but then when they hear Afrikaans, it's like, it's this cheap version of our language. They don't like them. They don't like even the Afrikaners. Fine. Now, here we have a First Nation of this country. You know, a First Nation of this country who are supposed to speak in their own native language. How in God's name does a First Nation, people who've got original culture and language, but their first language is a dialect? Their first language is a dialect. It's not an original language. There is no Afrikaans in the world. God does not know a language called Afrikaans. He didn't create it. God does not know a people called Afrikaners. He never created those people. He created Dutch. God never created Colourdes. I'm sorry, but it's going to sound harsh, but it's the truth. God never had people say, oh, these are Colourdes. I'm going to make them. No, it's our creation. I've got a white guy here working with me. He's a handyman. He's like maintenance of the studio and everything else around the precinct. I asked him today, Emra, is Colourdes question? Is like, no, Colourdes is mixed of me and you, Kgosi, that's it. An Afrikaner person here in this country now today, Pretoria, he said that to me. So they know. But how to get numbers behind you? Lie to the numbers. And the numbers will fall for you. The numbers will fall at your feet. You make them feel that they are more important than the others. And they will follow you. That is the most manipulative thing you can ever do. You cannot be as a First Nation or its descendants. And the only language you can take is the dialect that was created 30 or 50 or 100 years after the first Dutch people arrived in this country. There was no Afrikaans in 1652. There was no Afrikaans in 1670. There was no Afrikaans until the very so-called first Afrikaner and Voortrekkers, they leave the Cape and they went inside to the country called Voortrekkers, whatever that nonsense they're calling themselves. There was nothing like that. So it just debunks the whole thing of First Nation there. Language only. Now let's come to the names. Does any of them call something like that? No. Vanessa Williams, Mamang Oliphant, Ashley Sauls, Gayton Mackenzie. Their names are English and Afrikaans names, but they're supposed to be the First Nation. How is that possible, gentlemen and ladies? The First Nation doesn't even have any inclination, any heritage. I'm a Tswana from my forebearer, sorry. The very first Segongane was a Tswana person. Up until today, he gave birth to my father's father. My father gave birth. Until today, Anake Motswana ki was Tswana. Right? I didn't adopt any other language. I had to learn to be able to communicate with others who can speak and understand my language. But this one, their primary and first language is Afrikaans. Something which was created after the Dutch diluted themselves with the local languages. Let's take Fanakalo. Their mind language. Fanakalo, it's a mixture of everything. Tonga, say, African, say, let's Toti. Same thing. We create our own Totital in this country. And most of it is Afrikaans and English and anything else in between. That's how we created this thing ourselves as black people in this country. And Fanakalo was a language in minds because they wanted to deceive the whites. They didn't want the whites to hear what they're saying amongst themselves. So they created a language. Same as the language Jacob Tronko. The prison language, it's a language ever created in prison so that they can be able to baboo amongst themselves without the guards hearing. Africa is the same thing. Aina continent, Aina original place where they will say Africans say, if they live here, they go to their own. Bon, the Portuguese go back to Portugal, there's Portugal there. The Spanish go back to Spain, there's Spanish there. The French, everybody else except for these ones. Because there's nothing called an Afrikaner, there's no continent of an Afrikaners, there's no country, there's no language called Afrikaans. So the whole thing of you being the first nation with a dialect, yeah. I mentioned the names, right? The names give Ashley Sauls, Gayton Mackenzie. I mean, even they will say King Khoi's son, his name is Andrew Williams. I'm like, oh fuck, how did you become a king of a Khoisan but you got the African's name? Like your name is adopted. You're supposed to be Kgosi FM, original. You see? So now, white people like these ones, they will always come and try to manipulate us and divide us amongst ourselves. And always try to come with these things that Mama was a man. There's nothing like that. They are the writers of history. They will write anything that's going to make them look good. They are liars. And colored people of this country, unfortunately, they fell for it and they still, because they don't want to see anything, they don't want to be anything black. By the way, let's be brutally honest. What is a colored? If I sleep with a white woman today, she gets pregnant, I'm going to have a colored baby. Is that baby Khoisan? Musi Maimane's kids are colored. Are they Khoisan? Tokiso Khwale's kids are colored. Are they Khoisan as well? Don't say they are mixed breed. You are a mixed breed. Still. Mixed breed, colored, same thing. Mixed race, colored, same thing. Different, however you say them. Who else? Many people who are, even in America, there's black and white kids. Are those kids colored, guys? Are those kids Khoisan? So can they come and claim the land in the Cape? Can they come and claim Southern Africa? The whole Southern Africa to say this is theirs. Now let's go back to the this so-called person that was speaking nonsense. When you talk about Southern Africa, when you talk about South Africa, Zimbabwe, Namibia, you are talking about a geographical area that has been demarcated and called that. Now, the question is, before the white people can come to this continent and carved out countries for themselves and put borders, where was Southern Africa? That the Coloureds of today, who claim that they are Khoisan, can still claim and say it's because Southern Africa is ours. The fact that there was no border between Lesotho, South Africa, Swaziland, there was no a country called South Africa, there's no country called Lesotho. It was all big continent of Africa. How then do you claim a geographical area called Southern Africa as yours? Because before then, before these people came to this continent, there were no borders to demarcate a certain portion and call it Southern Africa or call it South Africa. Yeah. That's what happens when you let people come and manipulate you. They come and steal things from you, and then hands while busy by the man, the gold on Baba Lunt. But yeah, are, bueno, bahaf, ay, tena, when I or the color do, and you are new. It's enough. It's enough. Last thing, the Coloureds of this country had privilege during apartheid. Some of them chose not to, Alan Busak and others. But most of them, they chose to enjoy those privileges. They were the only ones that were given a house in parliament by the apartheid government because they wanted numbers on theirs. They knew we are more than them. So how do you divide and conquer people? Give others a better life and leave others to be at the squalor. So that whenever those ones at squalor, they rise up, we have these ones to say, hey, one, if they take us, they overtake your privilege as well. Hence, Coloureds do not like black people. They don't want to associate as black people. They don't at all. And when they judge me as a black person, they judge me by the color of my skin. But if they judge themselves by the language they speak. Ashley Sauls in parliament is just dark as me. But he's a colored. Megaten McKenzie is as dark as me, but he's a colored. But when they look at me, they see a black man. When he looks in the mirror, he sees a colored person because he speaks Afrikaans. That is just nonsense. That's just kak. Chila fell and J. So I'm appealing to the colored brothers and sisters, please guys, stop. Stop Ambazalwan. There is nothing called a Khoisan being a colored in this country. You are our mixture of our blood, African blood and European blood, and we produced you. And I'm going to say this brutally. There was never a colored person in the Cape in 1652. Much as there was no Afrikaans in this earth in 1652. There was never anything called Khoisan in the Cape. And even if the Khoisan were there, they're as dark and as African as me. They are not some European people that came here and whatever. No, they were never imported. If there was ever, I take my evidence, like I said, to the Bushmen in Botswana as you speak today. I take that as my evidence of there are somehow some indigenous people, but not the colored people in this country, or especially the Cape, like in the Cape. There is nothing like that. You are supposed to have embraced your black side and your black culture. You will be at least knowing where you're supposed to go. But you chose to embrace the white European culture, which is rejecting you every single day, because when they look at you, we actually slept with black people and produced these people. Unfortunately, that's the truth. I can be called racist, it's okay, but I know for the fact that racism for black people does not work. That I'm black and racist, it's nothing like that. Because a black man can be racist. So sorry guys, so stop. If you go into, there's now videos of somebody trying to I'm like, okay, what are you doing? It's like, no, the language of my ancestors. They are not your ancestors. But anyway, it's fine. I digress. Anyhow, comment below, man. Comment below and tell me what you think. If you think I'm talking nonsense and poets, send up. Like, share, subscribe. If you're going to watch on YouTube, if you're going to watch on TikTok, please follow. And then Facebook as well. Follow the page here. TikTok is Kgosi FM W7. I'm going to post the video today. And then please post YouTube the Kgosi FM live show. Share, subscribe, and comment and tell me what you think. I mean, I've given you small facts. I didn't go deep as a philosopher. I didn't have to do that. I took just small ones. Language, names, just to say, if you are original, you're supposed to be original. Now my ancestors, originally, they are speaking Tswana. Yeah. I'm sure most of them. So please comment below, right? And let me put what you think. And if you want to debate me as a colored person, when I debate this live on this studio, the number is below. 064 548 7176. Talk to me. The number is just below here. Make an appointment. Even if you're in Cape Town, you see this video, you want to talk to me over the line, I'll call you and we'll debate for hours live on TikTok, YouTube, and on Facebook. Ne? Signing off. Bye-bye.